One. Welcome, Chris Simmons Radio. We are back with Little Dave and special guest Alex Register. How you doing, man?
Good, brother. How are y'all?
I'm doing exceptional. It's Monday. I know you told me you were off today. I trained back, so
Yeah,
it was an even better day.
hell yeah.
Did
It's
you
the
train
best day
today,
of the week.
Dave? Or not yet?
Got I've got chest and shoulders today.
Oh, hell yeah, 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 yeah. I'm trying to remember what that workout is that I sent to you to do.
The it's on the first week of 30. Is it 33?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that the it's gonna be fun. It looks fun.
You know what's really funny because a lot of people are like, "What? Who is testing these for you?" And I'm like, Chris and Dave and Keena are all test dumbing these for me, in addition to myself. So you
I
just
think my favorite part of testing this is um my training partner's reactions. Uh
Right.
because the 2 weeks ago we had arm day, and
Yes,
it was how you've been doing it with giant sets.
right. Yeah.
And we get done with the third giant set, and Zach is like, "Why are all of our eyes fucking bloodshot like we did a set of squats?" And I was like, "Good question." He's like, "I'm pretty sure that was harder, more physically demanding than most leg days."
Right. And you know what? You know what's comical about that, right? Is it's an arm day.
Yeah,
And for everyone that doesn't know out there, Alex, fuck, we've been training together since how old are you? When was your first time you trained with me? Let's start there. Do you remember what age,
I
like rough
think
age?
it was when I was working at Gold, you were training there. I think I was 17.
Okay.
So it was
Yeah, I knew it was.
14 years ago. 14 years, yeah.
So we have trained together on and off since then. Um, and that's I guess where I wanted to start. I mean, I only laugh because when we got back to training together, the only time our schedule aligned was for arm day, and you were in that prep
Yeah.
for the show you won in Virginia. And I mean, there were days where you would just show up, sit down, and
Yeah, there
you
were
would just
I remember there were days I would just we wouldn't I wouldn't speak. We would just go in and train and I would leave. And
you would
that's
just yeah, you would just
yeah.
copy me. Like
Yeah.
I don't think I would say we wouldn't even say shit. I'm like, what's up, man? Let's roll.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, I mean that's how it should be. I know most
Yeah.
people would be like, man, that's really weird, or get home and be like,
I mean,
Andrew,
you show up, you know what to expect, you do it and you get the fuck out.
because Angel might be like, how's Alex doing? I'm like, I don't know, hungry. I don't
so
know.
true. That question from our girlfriends or wife is like, how's your training partner doing? You're like, what? Like, arms was good though.
Haven't you seen him like 6 times in the last 2 weeks? I'm like, yeah, I fucking don't know, but
Listen, this is zero shade, by the way, but you went through a divorce. I didn't even fucking know.
yeah, yeah, no, I mean, it's funny here because she's your client. That makes it even better. Yeah, no, I mean, I was dealing with that for the last two preps, and it's just like it's just another thing it's one other obstacle. It's just like okay, prep is actually making this better because I have something to focus on.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Dave, I don't know if I've ever shared the story with you. One of the times that I really fucking like really blew my back out, it was him and I were training legs at Gold's, and it was in the squat rack on the last set of squats. And like it was awful. And I was like, I'm not going to stop. We're just going to keep going. And I knew as long as I kept my belt on, that I could hack squat, that I could do leg press, and we could do some kind of leg curl. And afterwards, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty fucked up. I'm going to the doctor now.
The well, when I tore my hamstring prepping for USA's 2 years ago,
Yeah,
so it was the first movement I tore it on was the lying leg curls.
yeah.
And I looked at Zach and I was like, give me a minute. I went and I called the girl who does my body work. She's an athletic trainer. And I called her, and she lives 3 feet away from the gym. I was like, hey, can you show up for here for a second and diagnose my hamstring? And so she came. And then while we were waiting for her, we did our adductor work. And then I got on the leg press and then tried the like just the empty leg press.
Right.
And I was
Yep.
like, nope, that doesn't work. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I spotted him while he did his set on the leg press. And then I legitimately I did the same thing. Hack squats. We got the hack squats. And I was like, oh, this doesn't hurt. So Sarah shows up right after I do a set of 5 plates aside on a hack squat, and I get off and I'm like, oh, by the way, I think I tore my hamstrings. And she looks and she's like, cool, lay down. And she like looks at it. She's like, well, that's fucking torn. And it's like, and she's like, how did you do that set of hex spots? I was like, well, I didn't use my hamstring. And yeah, I finished that workout with Zach. Like, it was hilarious because he didn't even ask any questions. He's like, all right, cool. Well, this is what we got planned, so I'll do it.
Yeah. You know, so Alex, when I sent Dave like our itinerary for like podcasts for the next couple of weeks, I said, Alex is on, and I said he's got a couple of screws loose. I said, or I don't know if he has a couple of screws loose or everyone else does, and we're the normal ones. So yeah,
I've always kind of said like in order to do, I think I might have told you this before, Dave, too, is like in order to do what we do, like you have to have some kind of psychological disorder to a degree. Like we're on the spectrum somewhere. I don't know where it is, but we're all fucked up somehow.
Oh, agreed.
yeah,
I mean, that's like the funny thing is like we all like training really hard and pushing ourselves. And that's usually a negative for people like in that pain zone of like finding that area where this is painful. They usually have to be taught to what that means. Where I think we're all three are drawn to what that is,
yeah, yes,
and that's where we progress more.
right.
Yep.
That's it's I find it hard to explain this to people who don't understand it, but like that's comforting knowing that I have a job at hand and I mean, as I've said to you many times, it's 60 to 90 minutes, man. Like that's it. It's over. Like, so you better make every minute of that count or other people are going to blow your damn brakes off who are better than you genetically. And like, I mean, maybe that's where we start because I mean, Alex, you've seen me like when I used to work golds. I mean, I was teeny compared to now, and
Yeah.
it it's one of those situations. I mean, so are you. So I mean, um, it's kind of just one of those things where you almost have to lean into, hey, this is a long road. It's not going to be fast. It's not going to be easy route for someone like us, but it is progression each week, each month, each year, as long as you do the right shit.
Yeah.
So, um, let's start here, Alex. Like, I know I know you had a wrestling background and then kind of found bodybuilding, started working at Gold's, and then you jumped into the Anthony show at that Muscle Mania Natural. What what initially outside of not being able to wrestle competitively anymore drew you to bodybuilding?
So it was actually wrestling played a big role in it for sure. Like that kind of
Yeah.
taught me the discipline side of things because wrestling is very similar to bodybuilding and just the
Right.
terms of weight, rapid weight gain, weight loss, restrictive food, and trying to train while feeling like dog shit.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of in that headspace for a lot of it when I got introduced to bodybuilding. But really, it was a matter of like when I was younger, what got me into wrestling is I was you typical, fat kid, like a lot of bodybuilders are when they first start out. And I wanted to change that, but I really had no concept of like how. So I got into wrestling, ended up dropping shitloads. I went from 190, when I first started high school, I was 190 pounds, just fat ass. And by the end of freshman year, I was 117 pounds, just skin and bones. And when you're in high school, everybody wants abs. That's all you give a shit about in high school is you want that six pack. So I was like, nothing but fucking skin. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to look like this. Like, what else is there? As high school went on, I kind of started fucking around in the gym a little bit because it was the thing to do. And then a couple of back in Franklin County, a couple of old school like bodybuilders in that gym just from like the early 90s. They kind of started taking me under their wing and showing me what bodybuilding was, introduced me to it. And I remember there was like a moment. It was like I was still hyper focused on cutting weight like all the time, just being shredded because I wanted to look good for the high school crowd. And I remember I was sitting in the sauna with a fucking trash bag on because that was the norm. And I was a nerd growing up. Like, I was big into comic books, all that kind of stuff. So I remember thinking like, hey, I want to look like my favorite comic book characters. They're all fucking jacked, but I don't know how to do that. And so it was that moment I was like, okay, I need to start eating. I need to get fucking huge because none of these guys are like twigs with abs. Like they're all massive. So I remember I went home and I talked to my dad. I was like, hey, I want to like get into bodybuilding. And he was all for it. He was like the most supportive any father could ever be as far as like doing something that's terrible for you as far as mental health goes. But um, we started looking at like bodybuilding.com and we looked at meal plans, just introductory. We went out and bought a bunch of like flex magazines and all stuff like that. And him and I like sat down and mapped out a game plan of how to get into it. And he helped me buy my groceries and cook food. And from there, it was just like, okay, well, I had a couple buddies that were competing. So I went and watched that same show the year prior. And I was like, okay, well, next year I'm going to do that show. And that's kind of what I did. And I had no business being on that stage at the time, but that's kind of what introduced me to it all. And then I started working at Gold's very shortly after that. And that's where you and I connected. And then we prepped for my second show the following year. And it was my first real introduction to what bodybuilding was.
So give the viewers a non-biased, unfiltered version of what your first thoughts are when you met me for the first time versus how that evolved over the next like couple years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fuck, I think I worked at Gold's for a year, right about a year. And that first like 4 or 5 months, we never spoke. But you would come up to the front desk to make your shake or prep your food. And I was like, this dude's a dickhead. Like he never says a word to anybody. And then you were at the time, like you were the guy to go to for bodybuilding in Roanoke, Virginia. That's still very much the case. But I was like, okay, well, I need a coach. Um, Let me just talk to him sometime when I catch him at the gym. And I was like, oh, this dude's actually a fucking cool guy.
You know, it's one of those things like I was so about business then, as I am now. And I think just my demeanor in life is so to the point that it's off-putting to a lot of people. Like, I mean, I would, yeah, as you knew from working there, I churned clients all day.
Yeah.
And then when I wasn't doing that, I was training my fucking dick off. And then it was right back to work. And then it was home. So it's like, I viewed that day in the schedule that I had was like, it was no fluff time. And I mean, you know, like I hate small talk in general. So it's like you mix all that and just having like a singular focus of how can I make as much money as possible and how can I get fucking huge? Like it tends to not be the most as opposed to, you know, it's funny, I guess no one else knows this but you and I, is like all the other trainers on staff are like friendly and nice and outgoing. Like, how is this dude making all this money? He's a fucking prick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, that was my niche. It still is. Like, people love me or hate me. We get along or we don't. Like, it's pretty fucking simple. But I can tell you this, like, and both of you know this because you've trained with me. Like the people that have worked out regularly with me is small. It's a small group of people. And the biggest way to cause me anxiety is for someone who I don't know, who I've never seen them crank, ask to train with me. And that's almost as much anxiety for me as it is me not knowing where my next meals are. Like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, I don't have my next meal with me. Like it always creates a lot. It just does. And
Yeah.
especially like it makes me feel really awkward. And I'll get you both to speak about this. When a client asks you to train with them and you're like, oh fuck, like that's your first instinct. Like,
I set a nice boundary with that one
yeah,
because
okay.
whenever I do in-person training still, but I get people that are like, can I train with you specifically, like do a session with you? And that one always they get the if it's over text, I just have a saved, legitimately a saved file. I just go back and just you're getting that because it comes up so fucking often.
Yes.
But legitimately, it's like these are once you can do these things and show me that you can train hard and you can handle an actual session,
Right.
I'm totally fine going to the gym with you.
Yes.
But that is a year process. Like I need check-in videos from you every week. You need to get better at them, and you need to be able to show me actual intensity.
Right.
Like it's just a waste of like I don't want to be rude. Like it's straight up. I say it in the text. I'm like, I don't want to be rude, but like if you can't handle with me, I'm not there to teach you. I'm there to trade, and
Yeah.
you are there to trade. So if you want me to teach you, book a session. But I'm not training with you. You know?
Yeah, I think the it was almost spoiled for me training with you from such an early age because that's kind of what set the standard for me is to like if I'm going to have a training partner, this is where it has to be. Like that's the level of intensity and effort like I need in a training partner. And so that's like in a good way limited the amount of people that I've ever trained with in my life. And like I can same as yourself, I can count on one hand the amount of people I've had as a regular training partner. And it's because I'll get people asked to train with me, just especially down now that I'm living in Raleigh. Like I've had several want to train with me or wherever it may be, and I'm just like, you can. We're gonna do legs. That's my test of people is like we're gonna do legs. If you can hang with me on legs, we can train whatever the fuck else you want. If you can't do this with me and you're gonna go at my pace, we're gonna do what I want to do. And that if you can pass that test, we can do anything else you want. And I have yet to have anybody train with me more than once.
Right. Yeah. And you know what's wild about that is what I think people don't realize is when you were younger, we on upper body stuff, we'd have to pull a significant amount of load off.
Yeah.
And I had zero issue with that. Like, we'll pull one or two plates. I don't give a fuck on a hammer strength piece or barbell, hand you lighter dumbbells. I don't give a shit. All I care about is that each time you pick up weights with intent and you're taking it to the end.
Yeah.
And you're not going to feel sorry for yourself. You're not going to find a way to bitch out of it. And when there's a choice of heavier or lighter weight, you're going to choose the heavier. And if you can
Yeah.
do those, what I consider simple checklists, and give me all of your effort, I have zero issue with you, man, woman, experience, not experience. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
pretty fucking simple.
That is exactly it's not the can you keep up like
Yeah.
weight wise. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like the intensity is where that because it's either you're adding to the workout, you're taking away. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and if I know for a fact if I'm training with you, Alex, and I sit back, you do the 150 dumbbells on incline, you take it to failure, and I give you like a force rep, and then you give it your all, right? And then I sit back down with the 150s and I do 8 reps and then rack it and be like, that's good enough. You're gonna be like, fuck this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the intensity, the entire like the feel of the workout just hit a wall.
Yeah. And I've run into exactly that. Like I will go and I'm the same. Like I don't give a shit how much weight you're moving as long as I can tell like you're suffering by the end of that set. Let's the exact same scenario. Like if I'm doing the 150s on incline, like I might be training with somebody that can only press the 80s or 90s. But if I can see you visibly counting your reps and you saw me hit 8 and then you hit 8 and you're nowhere near that failure point as I was, like you're gonna do another fucking set or we're gonna about to make this a lot worse for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if it's a look in the eye or just that you can sense that they crave to get better, but that is an instinct that I pick up on really quick within like one or two first like hard sets. Like, Alex, you're giving that idea or about the leg day. Like, I'm sure after that someone does that last set of leg curls, or you could bet a lot of money on which side of the coin they fall based upon just leg curls.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't need to see anything else. This ain't for you. Like,
Yeah. Super true.
don't waste our time
Yeah.
anymore.
A
Like,
really, really good example of that. Do you remember when we trained legs with Ryan back at Titan?
yes, yeah,
He was fucking on death's door,
yeah, yeah.
but he didn't stop.
No,
Like
no.
just at doing those walking lunges. I still have the video somewhere on my old phone
So do
where
I.
all you see is him just like taking 20 seconds to get one leg up, and you just hear you screaming to rip that fucking tampon out and go. And he kept going.
Listen, that dude, God rest his soul, um, you know, he wanted to be better at all costs. And I tortured that motherfucker like I did you. And he just kept showing up and kept getting better. And like that's something that again is to me is very, very rare, especially for young guys. And I mean, unlike you and I, or all three of us, that dude had a ton of potential early, like
Oh
big,
yeah.
round, full,
Yeah.
bubbly muscle in the upper body. He was meant to do bodybuilding, like. And then when he was so used to taking good coaching for people he respected, like that's a rare, rare person, right? And I knew like if I had 2 or 3 more years with him, he would have been a fucking freak,
Oh
like
yeah.
even more so than he already was. So it's like one of them things like that was a prime example. He knew he was going to get crushed that day and he didn't back down. Now, could he keep up with us? Hell no. He was not ready for that level yet, but he was willing to put his dick on the line and try.
Yeah.
And
And there were multiple occasions he would text me out of the blue, be like, "When are you hitting legs again?" Like, I'm coming. Like, it's not,
you know,
"Can I train with you?" It's like, I'm training with you.
right. Oh yeah, yeah. And those are real
Yeah.
individuals, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I think when you hear us talk about that, like it doesn't sound that challenging. It's like you just have to show up and work as hard as you can for 60 minutes or
Yeah.
90 minutes or whatever. I mean, but I
Yeah.
think like as you both too know, is like that pace that I push is relentless. Like the first couple exercises, okay, this is we're cooking 3 or 4 deep. You're like, hold on, there is zero drop off, and it's actually getting into a more of a groove and a rhythm. And I think that's just overwhelming for a lot of people who are not used to just getting battered over and over,
Yeah.
and wanting more. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's what would you say, Alex, or is like probably the top 2 or 3 takeaways that you learned over the years of that experience that you could pass on to people that maybe are wondering like, do they want that smoke or what is that going to take to be able to get to that level?
Uh, I would say, it's the clear cut and dry answer is like either you want it or you don't, and you need to decide that very, very early on. Um, like you've seen my progression in the last 3 years as opposed to the last 10 years.
Yep.
It's because I finally, I bullshitted for a long time. It comes down to the priorities. Like, is this a priority or is it not? Are you saying it is, but you're making excuses is a big thing. Like, I said bodybuilding was a priority for the majority of my 20s, but we both know that wasn't true.
Correct. Yes.
Um, because I was focused on so many other things, I would make the biggest thing was like excuses. Every single reason you can have for not wanting to be better or not improving is an excuse. I don't give a shit if you're financially unstable, if you're going through a divorce, if your significant other died or whatever the fuck it may be. If it's a priority and you genuinely want this, you will make it happen. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it because every single reason you can throw it out there is an excuse. So it literally, like you said earlier, it comes down to just patience. Patience and priorities are the biggest things. Like if it's a priority, you will make it happen, and if you have the patience to stay disciplined and on your shit, you will get where you want to be. But you have to love it. Like there's no question, this shit takes a long time. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of patience, and if you love it, you will embrace every single part of that.
I think I said that to you before. I think I can't remember if it was face to face or on a text. I was like,
Yeah,
you just got to decide, man. Like, just fucking decide and just don't
yeah,
look back.
yeah,
And when you made
100%.
that clear decision, like everyone around you saw it, including yourself. And then it's like
Yeah,
your
oh yeah,
progress starts just going this way. And it's like, well, fuck me. How much time did I waste?
yeah. That's the worst fucking part about it that I kick myself in the dick over all the time.
Right.
I'm like, if I made it from here to here in the 3 years that I've been back on my shit,
Right.
how much did I waste in that 7, 8, 9 years that I was just kind of going through the motions?
Yeah. Do you see a lot of that too, Dave? Like with clients, I know you've been fortunate. You didn't experience all that bullshit. You figured that out well before you met me, so that was a good
Yeah.
thing.
The he it's huge. I mean, like the we all kind of hit that wall, and some of us probably hit it. I mean, all three of us probably hit that pretty early on in our lifting career, on where things stopped being easy. Like the first time going to the gym in high school, like I hit a wall where I was like, okay, cool, I'm not really progressing anymore. What do I need to make this work better? And it's like a mixture of everything, better training, better food, better recovery, right? And it's like, okay, cool. Let's start eating more protein. You get to a wall there, and then it's like actually tracking all of that shit, and then that point hits with everyone in some point where it becomes, instead of like a just like, oh, this is happening pretty easy, it becomes a, like, not a chore, but more like a active decision of, I'm choosing this to better myself.
Right. Yeah.
And as soon as that slips, and that's where people start, like, the shit we have, you have programmed in the program of the thing you just sent me. Like, some of those workouts are like, on paper they are fucking stupid, and
Yeah.
then in practice they're even worse.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
and it's, it going and doing a set, like, we've all seen this with cardio. There's a difference between just go walk. I can go walk on a treadmill for 30 minutes, or I could do my cardio for 30 minutes, and the outcome's different, you know. And the same thing with training. Like, you can go through the motions, but like, that doesn't ever improve you. Going through the motions in bodybuilding is where that's where people stay looking the same every fucking year.
Yeah.
That active decision of, I'm choosing this and this is why, is how progression works.
Right.
And people sometimes get lost on, like, they lose the reason why they're doing it. So the intent of the whole purpose is gone,
Right. Yeah.
and then that's why they lose direction, is because they lost their why.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
And that's where that, if you keep those in line, you're like, okay, cool, I'm going to the gym today. And you have your reason, like, okay, cool, I want to do better than I did last time at the competition I did. I want to improve on that look. Like, that's why we're doing all of this, right? You're like, cool. That means I have to put in my best effort now.
Right.
Versus, when if you forget about that, you're like, okay, cool. I did 12 reps last week, and then I'm just gonna fuck around and get 10.
Right. Yeah.
Like, maybe you didn't go forward, but you definitely, maybe you didn't go backwards, but you definitely didn't go forwards.
Right. Yes.
And
Yeah.
then those pile up into days and weeks, and then,
Years.
yeah, years. And then it's like, you look back and you're like, why was I even going to the gym? It's like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. Yes.
I think another part, just to add to that,
Yeah. Please.
like once you make that decision that you are like, I'm going to get better, like I'm not going to go through the motions anymore. Once you make that decision, everything becomes more enjoyable too. Like,
yeah,
for me, it was like I was going to the gym, I was doing the things I enjoyed going to the gym, but it was just kind of part of the routine. It
Right.
was what I did. It wasn't really like something that I was trying to get better at, but it was
yeah,
just something I was doing because it was part of the day. Whereas, like, when I made that decision to, I'm going to fucking get better and I'm going to do what it takes. Suddenly, like, the gym started being so much more fun to me again. And meal prepping started being an enjoyable activity instead of a chore. And eating my planned food, it was just like, this is making me who I want to be. This is no longer a sacrifice. This is something that I enjoy doing because I know every workout I'm getting better. Every meal, it's taking me farther to where I want to be versus just, okay, this is just what it's going to take. This is like, okay, this is exactly what I want to be doing because I'm choosing to do it.
yeah. You got
I've seen your ebb
your own
and
payoff.
flow through that, right? Like, you would have periods of, like, where I would perceive you were on it
Yeah.
outside of the time with me. And you'd have periods where, like, I'd see you at Elite or Golds 419, Titans, wherever, right? And I could tell, like, it was just like, oh, I'm just going through the motions, right? And which was weird to me to perceive, right? Because when you trained with me, it was a fucking 100 miles an hour. It was there was never a day where you would come in and, like, it would be 50%. You wouldn't call it in. So I'm like, I always knew in my mind, like, the moment he figures out how to do that all the time, and then welcomes that as what most people view as a burden, but what we now know is a gift, that's when shit clicks and you start winning overalls and getting better and putting 20 pounds of stage tissue on in a year.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not sexy.
And it honestly, all of the not so fun parts of bodybuilding, they, if you have a reason for it, there's no reason why it makes that process so easy.
Yes. Yes.
Like, I'm not the biggest fan of eating out of a Tupperware,
Right.
but it's really fucking easy to do that, knowing that that is indirectly affecting my goal,
Yes.
you know? And when you have your eye on the prize, it's pretty fucking easy to do the necessary,
Right.
Yeah.
you know? And when you keep that mindset of like, fuck yeah, this is me getting better, versus, oh, woe is me, I gotta eat food when everybody else is eating, whatever. And
Yeah.
it's just like we make it so much worse on ourselves because you're like, oh man, I have to do this. It's like you don't have to do shit. Like the reason you're doing that is because you wanted to,
Yeah.
and
There's
like when
there's
you flip.
no fucking reason why it has to be a burden. Like
Yeah.
you at any point, this is why like I think at some point we've all been guilty about like this prep sucks. I feel like shit. That's par for the course. But at any point you could just say, I'm done and just walk the fuck away. But you choose not to. So there's something to be said there. Like you're actively choosing to be like this, so why would you complain?
And it goes both ways too. I mean, like you just said, like if I was in prep and Chris gave me a low food day where all I'm eating is fish and air, and I go to Costco and I'm like, God damn, this pizza sounds awesome. So it's a $1.50. I'll get a Diet Coke. I just won't tell them, you know, like I can do that too. But guess what? My goal no longer is that fucking stage thing. What I wanted to do, that goal became that pizza,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I can
and
count on one hand. I think in the last 2 years. So I remember back before last year's prep when I was still working with Nate. Um, we were just like we just finished like a push phase. We were like, okay, well let's clean it up a little bit, then we'll start a prep. And all he did was like, let's cut out free meals for a few weeks, and that's all the only change he made. Well, at no point did he ever tell me let's add free meals back in.
Mm, good.
So I was just like, okay, I guess I'll never do free meals again. Um, and so in the last 2.5 years, I can count on both hands like how many off-plan meals I've had because I'm just like I could absolutely go out and enjoy a nice dinner with whoever, take myself out, but I'm just like, why would I do that when I can just have my planned food because I know that's getting me right closer to where I want to be. Like I
100%.
am completely happy with chicken and fucking rice. Like I could eat that all day long and I love it. Why the fuck would I go get a pizza and or burgers or whatever else when that's just gonna delay what this other meal is gonna do for me?
I mean, listen, you've been a part of post-show eating with me
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
in the
I
past.
remember you were pissed when we couldn't get a Cheesecake Factory.
Oh yeah. Like, and then this last time I text you both, like, check out what I eat post-show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Like,
the same thing. Like
yeah.
my first thing I ate after I got off stage back in June was chicken and rice. Like first thing to touch my lips. And then right after that, cream of rice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Alex, is there one singular workout that jumps out in your mind that we've done together that really sticks out as like, fuck, that like took a couple minutes off my life?
um I would say there's been a handful of those. I remember specifically two. One of
Okay.
them is
Yeah.
the one. One of them, it just stands out in my memory is the one with Ryan, just because I think you and I both kind of cranked it up just a little extra that day,
Yeah.
just to put him through it.
Yeah. That was a great day.
Because
Yes. Yes.
I was equally as miserable as he was. I was just not showing it. Um, and
Yeah.
then I remember there was one actually. I think it was even an arm day.
Okay.
This was actually during your prep back in 20, probably 16 or 17.
Okay. Yeah.
We trained super early at workout anytime.
Yes. Yes.
And you were wearing your Team Dick skin shirt. And I remember that specifically because you were very much Team Dick skin at the time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we just cranked arms. I think it was like 4 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. And we just cranked and then we did cardio. And it was just like, again, one of those where nowhere it was you pick an exercise, I pick an exercise. You pick an exercise, I pick an exercise.
Yep.
And then we just cranked through there and we both did cardio and then just pieced out. I think I went back home and went to bed because I'd been up till like 2 in the morning the night before that.
Yeah. I think I remember texting him, like, I'm doing arms. Are you in? And you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
I got home at like 1 in the morning
Right.
and you would text me and I was like, fuck it. Might as well sleep later.
Right. I'm gonna say it's like a prep that sticks out in my brain of us training together at Golds at 419. And I'm sure you'll remember this. I'm not gonna give the dude's name away, but it was someone who we thought was a mutual friend said that I'd never be in shape for that show. And it was when I was training with Matt Porter. And
Yeah.
I was just full fucking demon mode that entire time. Like we'd sit down on that Nebula leg press, and I feel like I would just black the fuck out and go somewhere so nasty that if probably Angela saw inside my brain, she'd probably say I need to get some help. Like, and then we go outside and we do those. I'm sure you remember, like we put those chains and lunge that concrete walkway,
Holy fuck.
and
Yeah,
then
I just
come back
remembered
and go
that.
sissy squats to failure with the chains, strip the chains, do sissy squats till we fell over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that now that you say that. I totally, because you had all that shit in the back of your Jeep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were hauling bars and shit in the gym.
Yeah,
Like,
the
listen,
fucking bamboo bar that you brought in there the one time.
oh my God, yeah. Like, so to me, that sticks out in my brain because I was on such a mission to prove that motherfucker wrong, and I would just like scream at the top of my lungs, like it's before every hard set, like I didn't give a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
and I know that lady, what was her name? Sally, maybe? I can't
The
remember.
owner,
Yes.
Patsy.
There you go. Yeah. She'd
Yeah.
be like, y'all need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah. No, this is a gym. This is what it's fucking here for.
Yeah.
The amount of stairs we would get in that place because it was just geriatric central. Like there's nothing but I call it the influencer gym now because that's all it is. It's just
Right. Yeah.
tripods as far as the fucking eye can see,
Right.
and Gymshark and Young LA. That's all that's there now. But
Yeah.
it's just old people and broccoli heads. That's all it is, and that's all it was at the time too. So we just got the amount of people that would just stop and look the whole time. Every time screaming was going on, I'm just like, this is kind of what the gym is for. Like, I don't know what you think your perception of the gym is,
Right.
but there's a reason that it exists, and it's to fucking work.
You know what's funny is my soul aches when he got rid of all that equipment. Like, so Dave, it
Yeah,
was all old school hammer strength, and it was straight, hit a full stride, the strive line, and Nebula leg press, Nebula hack squat. I mean, it was just dumbbells to 150, all metal. Like, it was just a fucking good gym.
Yeah.
And sadly, he traded it all in for like all new Nautilus stuff, and it's not good.
The amount of money and just if you had the Strive line, that's fucking wild.
Right. And no one appreciated it except when they understood how that cam system works. So it's
Yeah.
like you marry that with like, I think someone who just didn't know what he had on his hands. Um
Yeah.
and you know, gym members who
Yeah. Don't if they don't know how to use it, they're like, what the fuck is this?
correct. Yeah. Yeah. So you know, I'll tell you what, Alex, what is funny about that? I didn't know I said that. Some of those sessions we had at Titan, which Dave, this was in the full fucking ghetto. No AC. We were there in the middle of summer. Like, and my stupid ass would come in there with a hood on and
yeah.
be sweating through. I get to change clothes to drive home. It was so bad. It was worse probably than when you and I trained at that Metroflex at Long Beach.
Yeah. I have videos back on my Instagram of the memories. I'll find them sometimes, and it's just like I would wear a gray, like a light gray shirt, and
Yeah.
it would be black by the
Oh yeah.
time we left. Like it's just dripping, and it
Mhm.
was the best. I miss that shit so much.
And it was like most of the time it was just you and I. It
Yeah,
was the music was so loud you couldn't even talk to each other. And it's just, I mean, listen, that's just what training is to me. Like it's probably as close as I've ever felt to like be feeling like I was Branch Warren in my entire life was when we were in that gym training. Like
Yeah.
just no one to watch, nobody gave a shit. It was just train your fucking face off and get better. And like to me that was a huge ceiling uh of fun for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those I think those workouts at Titan. That I think that's the most like consistent we've ever been. Is
Yeah,
like being able to train together. Is when we were at Titan,
yeah,
and
agree.
that period was like me kind of realizing like I hadn't fully found it yet.
Yeah.
But I remember those training sessions was like, this is the shit that I need to be doing every day.
Yes. Yeah. I think probably what you learned there indirectly is that it wasn't a switch that I flipped just for you to train with me. Like
Yeah.
that was normal. That was what a session
Yeah.
should be like. And I think that's if anyone watching this takes away, like I think a lot of times people believe that like what we do is for camera or for someone's in town or oh Dave's coming, I'm gonna train extra hard today. It's like No, Dave's just going to train with me and we're going to enjoy a hard session together.
Yeah.
Guess what a hard session is? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
That's exactly exactly how like goes back to like just going through the motions. You know, like the amount of people who show up to the gym and do like, all right, cool, this is what I'm doing, and they forgot their whole purpose behind it.
Yes.
You know, and I'm not saying that's if you go to the gyms for your leisure activity, cool. But like if you're a competitive bodybuilder, like that's what you're doing. You know, like your body is not going to change unless you push it in that direction.
Yeah.
And that should be the most common fucking knowledge thing on the planet. Like, I wish the amount of people who would just, who chant calories in, calories out, but can't figure out how to train hard blows my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Because like they're like, cool, you realize that equation. Like, can you get into the gym and actually just work out? Like put down all of the fucking research data, take off your Apple Watch, and just learn what actual difficulty is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But science, but science is like, don't get me wrong. I love a good research study. I
Wait,
love seeing numbers on paper. I'm all for science, but science is really only this whole science based shit. I don't know why in the last 2, 3 years, really, it's become what it is. Because you look at the last 50 years of professional bodybuilding,
Right.
they didn't give a fuck what the research paper said. They didn't give a shit what the most optimal path to hypertrophy with partials and lengthened, whatever the fuck it is. They just went in the gym, they trained till they fell over, and they ate their fucking food. And they produced the greatest physiques of all time without ever stepping foot into a laboratory.
yeah.
And with no
Well,
fancy peptides and all this wild shit we have now, I have access to, right?
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I love that kind of stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's never going to supersede the core basics.
No.
well, it's just kind of funny because people are trying to make something what's inherently difficult less difficult.
Yeah.
Like, how cool would it be to climb Mount Everest but with a fucking zip line?
Right. Yeah,
Like half the reason why bodybuilding is cool is because it's hard.
yeah, agreed.
Like if I you just hopped on a thing, you took a tram up Mount Everest, like would you even want to do it?
Yeah. And there's all these, I've seen a bunch of
And
people
you
saying,
just have
like,
a coach who says, "Hey, I can get you to the top of Mount Everest, but it's 10 grand, but you get to say you climbed Mount Everest." All right, cool.
yeah,
That's what that will turn bodybuilding into.
yeah.
You know, that's where they're trying to go. This is the easiest, most effective way to do it. It's like nothing about bodybuilding is fucking easy. That's the whole fucking point.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, I've seen this recently, is like people are saying, like, okay, well, will all these new peptides and uh, supplements and whatever else it may be, I've seen a lot of people stating, like, hey, in 5 years, like everybody's gonna be a pro bodybuilder, like everybody's gonna have the physique they want. But at the same time, like this shit is it's survival of the fittest. Like if somehow that somehow rings true and like people start looking better, that's great. Like people, if people want to be healthier, absolutely. But that's just gonna up the game once again. It's the same thing that happened in the early 2000s. It'll be the exact same with Ronnie. Like, okay, Ronnie's now the biggest motherfucker on stage. Everybody else is going to be playing catch up. So let's say everybody suddenly becomes like a top level bodybuilder or whatever because of these new supplements. Okay, well, who's going to stand on top? It's still the motherfucker that's working the hardest.
Yep.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And like I always love pointing that out. Like we know, well, I mean, shit, the Ozempic made that was a $20 billion industry
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
Like I still see a lot of fat people.
Right.
I hate to break it to you.
yeah,
Like not, it's one of those things. It's like cool. There's a tool, but the it's the craziest thing. Like people go out of their way to think it's the tool is going to fix their problem. Like, man, I suck at playing the piano. What I need is another fucking piano. It's like, you need to sit down and learn how to play some chord or whatever that fuck is called. Play some fucking piano and get better at playing the piano. You don't need a new fucking piano.
Yeah.
Right?
I've seen countless patients who come to me in my clinic and just be like, yeah, I lost 30, 40 pounds off of Ozempic last year, and then I stopped taking it and gained it all back. Well, no shit. That's because you didn't change anything. You
Right.
just stopped taking the one thing that was helping you and expected it to be gone forever.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, this is something I'm very proud of because I've taught you both this, right? I know I've said to both of you, press the 150s on the incline dumbbell and press 315 on the barbell, and you'll have a chest. Like it'll be there, I promise. And you both have put that into play. You've both developed pecs, right? So always go back to this example. If you both were presented with, hey, like if you put a cuff around your elbow and you do decline flies, it'll give you a chest. I'm probably the best chest ever. Would you tell your client who was a 19-year-old bodybuilder that, hey, you should go with those cuff flies? Or would you go with the thing that you know is tried and true? Like, and that's what I have a hard time getting across to any of these science-based kids that come at me aggressively on the internet is they're like, yeah, but Chris, and I'm like, you have no hard evidence to prove your way works. You have theory, you have muscle EMGs. I have actual clients and friends who I've watched it work. And they can't argue with me. Sometimes it's like, oh, steroids, fuck you. And I'm like, if it were only that easy, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me just say, I've been on steroids for a long time. I didn't start looking like I was on steroids till I started putting the fucking work in.
Yes, thank you.
That's all there fucking is. Like, I've been on gear since I was 22. I didn't
Right,
look like shit till I was 29.
right.
That means like, hey, there's a lot more fucking to it.
Yes. No better case study,
Always.
right? It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the most laughable thing on the planet. I think that post on Facebook, I was reading those comments. Oh my goodness, I thought that was like the funniest thing. I was like, are these people just like retarded?
yeah, yeah, the answer is yes. Like
Yeah,
that goes to show you, like, this is okay, I'm gonna try to remain positive.
right. I thought it was funny. I was like, well, at least I don't have to, like no one's calling me natty. Like,
There's this line, right? Like, and I always laugh because someone like, I just did an Instagram, or no, a YouTube live Friday, and someone's like, are you, are you natural? And I'm like, I laughed. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like,
I've had
stop.
that conversation with so many people. They're
Right.
like, bro, I'm 240 pounds and I'm 5'5".
Right. Yeah. And it's not fat.
Like that, find three other people like in that scenario, right? Please. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, but again, that shows you like how immature and uneducated people are in terms of their brain to actual muscle growth. They think, oh, it's in a syringe, it's in a pill bottle. It's not the fact that you've eaten 42 meals a week for the last 6 years and you can count on one hand how many of those you've missed, and it's only because you were sick or asleep. Like that those meals were missed. It wasn't because you made an active choice, like, I don't know if I can eat that today. Like, or the fact that you've been in the gym 4 to 5 days a week trying to murder yourself like consistently and get better and find ways to make things harder. Like that's, and I think a lot of times, like that's why people don't, or they downplay a lot of the coaching strategies that I use is because they think it's got to be the other thing that he's not telling us because what he's selling us isn't sexy.
yeah, and that's the thing. Honestly, I'm going to share this one because I just got off. He just got done with his check-in today, but I had a client who, he came to me and he was blasting a lot of random shit. And honestly, I told him straightforward. I was like, dude, everything I'm seeing here, because like he'd check in, he'd be like, I had 34 out of 42 meals. I was like, you missed the whole fucking day, you know? And, like transactions were like something would be wrong with something every single fucking week. And it wasn't like a little wrong, right? And I was 7 forward. I was like, dude, it's pretty wild to see how much you rely on gear.
Yes. Yeah.
And what I want to do is just pull you back to absolutely fucking just TRT. We're gonna cruise. We're gonna sit there, and we're gonna figure out how to get your body to respond. And
Okay.
that's gonna be two things: your dedication to your training and your diet. And we are gonna nail those in. And if you cannot make progress with those two things, I'll refund you.
Yeah.
And well, what do you know? We're actually making progress. And he realized he's like, I was missing so many fucking holes in my fucking lifestyle, you know, sleep, recovery, food, training. He was going through it. He was like, I was skipping these over because I was covering them up with drugs. And I was like, yeah, what happens when we add those in now when they're not a fucking hole? And he's like, holy shit, and he had that, it's like 6 months of time. It's like, not many people want to do that, but the fucking crazy thing is like, he looks better now than he did when he, was blasted said gear. And
Yeah.
we put him on the, we figured out we got the other things in line first.
Yeah.
And I am not anti-gear in any way, shape, or form, but I am definitely anti-stupid.
Yes. Yes.
You know, like, if you want to do it, I don't fucking care, but can you at least do it the right way?
Yeah.
You know?
What people are going to gloss over there is you taught him how to bodybuild.
Yeah,
You taught him not like most people just think we're just a bunch of drug addicts, like, and that's not the truth. The truth is we do bodybuilding and then you add supplements and you just put jet fuel on the fucking fire.
Yeah.
Like,
Like I'm not, I love gear, but I also love using as little as possible.
right?
Like
Yeah.
I would be perfectly happy just TRT as long as we can push that little bit of TRT and I can continue making progress, that's what I'm gonna do. Like I do not enjoy pinning 15 times a week,
Hmm.
but obviously that's gonna be part of it. But the less gear I have to use, if that means optimizing every other part of it, like I'm gonna do that a lot more happily than I would pinning 6 cc's of shit every day.
yeah. Well, and then the fun thing is we know, like, I have seen so much in bodybuilding, but we know the people who are, choosing to, I don't think there's anything wrong with any drug. But the people who choose to use the drug instead of actually choosing to do the hard shit
Yeah,
always has a different look. Like, we know what the people look like who start a prep and they start slamming Clen, DNP, and T3 versus the person who doesn't do those things and just fucking diet their face off.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you could take twins and have them do that same experiment, right? Sure, the one who's doing DNP is going to get leaner faster,
Right.
but let's see what his body looks like. Like, you generally look like a bag of spilt milk.
yeah.
Right.
Yep. The amount of times I'll get messages being like, I'm thinking about doing a cut. Like, what drugs should I add? I was like, maybe a calorie deficit and some cardio. Maybe that's where you should start. And then we can talk drugs in 6, 8 weeks.
Right.
They're like, I can't just throw Tran on this and just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm like, you could, but you're gonna feel like a bag of dicks and you're probably still gonna be fat.
Alex, I'm gonna use you as an example here and have you speak on it. Like, there was a period of time where your legs were growing and were bigger, but they were always soft.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
always smooth. Front,
yeah,
back, and side, they had good shape. You could see all the muscle was there. But I'm just like, is that a shitload of like intermuscular fat? Is it fat over it? Like, I'd always wonder, like, why don't your quads like look spidered? Why don't they look like super dug out and detailed? And now you're deep in off season and have full quad hamstring separation. So, what would you accredit that to? What we're just talking about? Because you were training equally hard then as you are now.
yeah. I think there's a couple factors with that. I think one is just muscle maturity. Like
Okay.
I think it really took me getting lean
Okay.
and getting a lot of that fat off because I think that had just been fat that had been stored there for many, many years of me not being ever in good shape. So like the leanest I ever got prior to the stage last year was the last time you and I prepped back in 2013. I'd never done a hard cut in 10 years until then.
Right.
So I think a lot of that fat was just it had stayed there forever and I never pulled it off. Once I was able to get that fat off and control the body fat gain when we reversed out of it and went into an off season, I think that had a lot to do with it. Is just my body was able to better um, portion out that fat distribution a little bit more as I grew. Because yeah, my training really didn't change. My intensity never changed. It was just pulling that fat off and keeping it off to where we were able to just grow at a healthier pace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I mean, listen, you've seen me super fat, and my legs would always have striations in them.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and I would swear that's just because of the training. Now, you
yeah,
and I both, it's probably genetics that I don't tend to store fat in my appendages, but it's it's something I was always curious to watch. And then as I watched you progress, like what I would call maturing as a bodybuilder, that problem disappeared. And which is fucking cool,
yeah,
right? Because you can look at that in a bunch of ways and like, oh, I found better. No, you just fucking outgrew that shit mentally and
yeah.
physically. And like that to me was cool to watch from the outside looking in. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like the very first time I ever saw a quad vein. It was when we were training at Gold one time. I was like, "Oh my God, that's fucking amazing!" I'm like, I'm a real bodybuilder now, and
Right. Yeah.
now it's just like I look down and I see veins. I'm like, I'm still fat. Fuck it.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Dave, you have any questions for him?
No, not really. The that covered a lot. The honestly, it'd be fun. The what's your favorite body part to trade?
I'm pretty think I
Is
think
this
that's pretty.
is it still legs, or do you like chest or shoulders more now?
Honestly, I it's a toss up because legs I think will always just hold a special place. I think all three of us can say that like there's something about training legs that just takes you to a little bit darker place. But I think I have the most fun training chest now because that's what lagged for so long and now it's finally starting to catch up. I look forward to that so much more now because I'm seeing that progress so much faster than I used to. Because a good reference for that is like Chris and I whenever we would train chest, like we would do inclined barbell, and for years it would be like we'd start with a plate as a warm up, plate and a quarter warm up. We hit 225, and I'm like, okay, this is where I might be able to hit this for like six. And then Chris would be like, plate quarter, plate quarter, plate quarter. And I'd be stuck way the fuck back here at two plates with a spot. And now I'm like, okay, now I can move some weight. Like I'm seeing that so much more frequently now. I'm like, I love this. Like I'm finally getting to the point where I can move some weight with pressing. So I think right now, I would say I look forward to chest more than anything, just because I'm finally seeing that. But legs is just like one of those like nothing is ever going to hit like training legs does. Like I know when I walk in there, like
Exactly.
this is gonna fucking suck, and I can't wait.
Yeah, yeah. Very few things I look forward to, like getting under a leg press or a hack squat.
Yeah,
You know what's funny is when I look back at your training, like you could hang in battle with me on legs all day long. Chest, I would blow your brakes off. Shoulders, you could never connect to. And
yeah,
I'd always feel bad for you because I'm like, we were doing the same shit, but my shoulders were just getting more capped and around and yours just weren't growing, right?
yeah,
So I always felt bad because I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I don't know how else to help you with this. Like, other than you, you just have to fucking figure it out. And then
yeah,
arm training's always just kind of like, it's just arms training. It's kind of hard to fuck that up.
yeah,
And then back, you were always good at, like, or at least that was my perspective because I felt like I was so bad at it. I could move weight with you, but it wasn't the same to the muscle, if that makes sense. So, like, it just kind of shows you the dichotomy there of if you look at how your physique was built and then now like how you've been able to refine that process has been really cool to watch. So,
yeah, yeah.
well, okay, last question here, we'll move on. Food. What has been the biggest thing you've learned or biggest takeaway that made you go from like a middleweight to now I mean, I think you've kind of realized like you're going to have to be a heavyweight one day. So, like, what have you learned to get you from like where you were to over that hurdle of like, okay, now I'm have to be a light heavyweight, and if I want to turn pro, it's gonna have to be a heavyweight.
Yeah, I think last year was the first time in my life because I've always, it's easy to say like you got to eat to get big. Like,
Right. Yeah.
sure, but last year is the first time I think in my life where I've gotten to the point where like I don't fucking want to eat anymore. Like this is the first time I've ever been like, okay, I know what it is to suffer and be hungry.
Yeah.
Now I know what it is to suffer and be full. Like that is the first time I've had to push food so high that I'm like, it takes me 30 minutes to eat a meal. like just sitting there staring at this fucking Tupperware, and there's 400 grams of rice left, and I'm just like, wow, this sucks, and this is what I asked for. So yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was just like it's not just it's the saying is like get comfortable being uncomfortable. That applies to a lot more than just dieting, like just being hungry. Like it's
Yeah.
100% the other way around too. I tell everybody now is like there's probably about 3 months out of the year where a bodybuilder is comfortable. You're either starving or you're force feeding. There's no way around those two.
So true.
It,
I think it's funny. Alyssa will tell the story to every single person. But when we were first, I think our first like 3 months of living together, I was sitting down to eat my last meal of the day, and like it was a struggle bus. And she sits me, and I take a bite, and I'm sitting there, and I legitimately throw up onto my food, and I was like, "Fuck." So I sit down, I throw the whole thing away, wipe off the table. It wasn't like a fuck ton of throw up. It just like went on the plate, and I was like, I threw the whole thing away, and she's like, "Are you coming to bed?" And I was like, "No, I've got to make this meal and eat it." So I
Yeah,
literally went back to the fridge, remade the entire fucking meal, and sat down and ate it.
yeah,
And then when I came up to bed, she's like, "You're really fucking serious about this stuff, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." The but like that was like, was that fully needed? Like, probably not. But like, am I gonna miss a meal because of some? No, that's
right.
also who I am. You know, like,
Yeah, that almost exact same scenario was literally last night for me. Like
yeah,
I've stayed at my girlfriend's last night, and we had just got home from grocery shopping, I think, and it was like 11:30, and she's already done with all her meals for the day, and I was like, yeah, I still have one more to go. So I'm like sitting there making it, and like I start eating, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed. Are you coming? Or she's like, do you want me to wait? And I'm just like, it's gonna be a little while. You go ahead.
yeah,
yeah. And that's just an acquired skill, I feel like, of
yeah,
learning to put it away. And yes, it's not going to always be fun or glamorous, or it reminds me of that Frank McGrath poster of him sitting there at the table. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
chicken and rice again.
yeah,
yeah.
You just
Like,
had to
it's
find a way
funny
to
too
shut
because
it
like
down.
I think all of us know how to cook. Like,
Yes.
it's not like our food's not tasty, but like it's just like that Thanksgiving. Like, well, Thanksgiving's coming up, guys. So like we all know what that fucking feels like. Like that, and it's like when you feel like that for, you know, 4 weeks in a row,
Yeah. Okay.
you realize what, like, there's a lot of food involved in
yeah.
bodybuilding.
Like when I'm standing up and like I'm out of breath standing up and like can't tie my shoes, my face is always fucking red. If I'm just sitting here and breathing heavy because I like looked around too hard, it's pretty miserable. But at the same time, like I would say that's the biggest takeaway that I had in the last couple of years as far as like the diet goes. Like you're gonna have to fucking eat at some point. It may be less one year, it may be more the next. Like right now, my food is almost on par with what it was last year, and it goes down a lot easier.
Mhm.
But I'm also losing weight, so that means I'm gonna have to crank it up again.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's where we'll end, right? Is like, it's embracing that insanity of Groundhog Day over and over.
Yep.
Realizing like, hey, this is for 16 weeks through a blast. And then we'll pull food back a bit and we'll cruise for 8 weeks. And then we'll do a contest prep where I just progressively get hungrier each passing week. And then, oh, we're gonna do a rebound where I'm still hungry as fuck every minute of every day. And
Yeah,
yet I'm eating more food, but I don't feel like I am. And then it's like, oh, fuck, I hit a food wall again. Fuck, that came way faster than I thought I was going to.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly how it is. 100%. Like I remember I was refeeding out of this past show, and every update I'd send my coach, he'd be like, rate your hunger on a scale of 1 to 10. And every week it was just 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And then one week it was like 6. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, because you're always like, man, I just want to feel full. And then you start feeling full and you're like, oh, fuck, this isn't good.
Yep.
Damn it. And then it becomes I don't say a chore, but how I've always looked at it. It's just it becomes a work set. That where that
Yeah.
meal was a warm up. Oh fuck, it ain't a warm up anymore, homie.
Yep.
You have a full plate of food, beef and rice or chicken and potatoes, fill in the blank, and it's gonna be hard. So you either figure the fuck out or you stay the exact same as you were last year and get beat again. And yeah, one
Yeah.
way or the other. All right, guys and girls, until next time, Chris, Alex, Dave, we are done. Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys.